And we are live. Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. Hope you guys are doing all right wherever it is that you are. Going to be a quick one again tonight. Not going to keep you guys too long. Still hadn't gotten everything done today that I have wanted to get done. Goodness gracious. Devotionals this morning, the gym, worked out in the yard. The bug guy came. I talked with him at length. Dug up 5 wooden fence posts. Hey, Doc, it is live so far. I hope you are doing good. How you feeling? You feeling any better? How's everything with you tonight? I'm drinking out of my grandma cup. How about that? Black coffee. Man, the time slips away through the day. There's just not enough time, it seems, to get everything done. That's good stuff, too. You can't beat the water. Oh, me. Have you had dinner yet? I imagine so. Hey, Marvin, what you up to, buddy? Yes, sir. I was surprised that there would be so much. Um, Worked out in one of the flower beds again, and after we do the live stream, we're going to have hamburgers. I cooked them yesterday when we did the video of the hamburger steak. So we're going to have hamburgers in a little bit, and it will be pretty good. She's already upstairs eating, but I was just going to see how you guys were doing and what all has been going on with y'all. What you been up to, Marvin? Hey, prepping artists, how are y'all doing? I caught about half of your live stream so far today. I had to watch it on the replay. I hope y'all are doing all right. Sounds like y'all have been busy as well. There's always something to do around here. That's pretty good, Doc. That is pretty good stuff. Yeah, we're supposed to get it. I covered up all the firewood. I was letting it dry out in the sun, but it's supposed to start raining pretty good tomorrow. It's been overcast all day today, so I covered all the firewood up, and hopefully it won't get too wet. And so we're supposed to have a bunch of people over for an early dinner or a late lunch, something like that, tomorrow. So hopefully it won't rain too bad because we'll be cooking out. I think we're grilling steaks, so that'll be nice. I have noticed that this warm weather, the dandelions are coming up all in the yard, and that is fantastic because it's time to start digging dandelion. Um, oh, that's good. That's good for the flowers. Good thunderstorm. Um, I'm actually on my hamburger tonight. I'm having dandelion leaves instead of lettuce, and that's going to be good. I'll do some videos. We'll be digging them up, and figured it's the first of the year, so we're kind of start over. So we're gonna dig them up, wash them, dry them out, cut them up, and then pound them up. We'll make some dandelion coffee. I have about a quarter of a pint jar of dandelion roots left. So I'm about out, and that's good. It's pretty good stuff. I will say it's kind of an acquired taste, but you know, it's not a great coffee substitute because there's no caffeine in it. But I mean, it's really good antioxidant, vitamin A, E, C, B, and a lot of good minerals in it. So it's really good. And they're saying it's also really good. I am not a doctor, but they say it's also really good for liver health and everything. So that's some good stuff. But when the guy came today to do the yard, to spray inside the house, outside the house, in the basement, and all that stuff, we have to do the mad dash to make sure everything's nice and clean and pristine. So that was a job. You've already got pollen. Now that is one thing I don't care about. That along in the springtime, that is, man, I could do without the pollen. But do you? This guy, he's the preacher at one of the churches, and he does a really good job. And he worked for Cooks for like 20 years before he went out and got his own license and does it. And he does a good job, sprays the eaves of the house and puts out the bait traps and all kinds of stuff, and then talks to you about everything he did and what he thinks we need to do. And this time of year, the ants come into the bathrooms. No idea why. We're here 4 years now, and every spring the ants start coming into the bathrooms. Not the mean bitey ones, just the little. We always call them little sugar ants, and they'll come in and hang around with you in the shower, and you know, talk nasty about you, and then you spray them with a shower head and wash them down, and then they're back. So I don't know why. I don't know where they come from either. Well, from outside, obviously, but so they spray them and knock them back, and then especially down here around all the stuff, everything is up off the floor. But we spray, and he understands. I think he thinks I'm one of those crazy preppers. I don't know why, but I think so. That's good. That's really good. Um, Bay leaves also repel ants and roaches. I don't know about killing, but it does. You can boil the bay leaves, pot of water on the stove, bring it to a boil, throw in a handful of bay leaves, let it simmer for an hour. It'll turn a different color. Strain it and pour it in a spray bottle, and it works pretty good. It does, but he also sprays the fire ants, and I like me a good fire ant killer. I don't blame you, Doc, because once they get in the house, it is hard to get rid of those. I mean, it's a pain in the butt. It's one of the downside to having all these. Hey, broken nomad. I understand. I will be eating myself after we get off of here. Um, we have those big old palmetto bugs sometimes outside, and they live in the pine trees. Look like roaches, but they're not roaches. And when they land on you while you're walking out to the car, you do the heebie-jeebie dance. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those things can be a booger. Um, Oh yeah. Yes, sir. They really do live out in the trees down in Florida. Those things are, they get big. What you having for dinner, Broken Nomad? Let me guess. Some sort of chicken. Grilled chicken breast. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, we have them in Alabama too. Pretty good. Pretty good. And that's the thing. Flounder, mac and cheese. Dang it. Not even the right species. Flounder sounds pretty good. Mac and cheese and frozen peas. That sounds pretty good. We did hamburgers, and you'll see the video with Brussels sprouts, roasted Brussels sprouts, and home fries. And it's an odd combination, but it's pretty dang good. They're actually to the point. There you go. Somebody's eating chicken. Uh, Chicken tenders sound pretty good. The Brussels sprouts actually, because you do them in breadcrumbs, and it actually tastes a lot like fried okra, which, I love fried okra. So that is pretty good stuff. But we've had this warm spell. It's almost time to garden. I understand, Doc. Yeah, you told me you had, ever since the heart thing, you had been pounding the skinless chicken. So you can have a little bit of food fatigue from that. Yeah, and I know with a low sodium, no sodium, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So you have to really think on different flavors. That's my grandma cup. There you go. Ah, that's good coffee. Um, but it's time to start planting. There you go. Amen. Hallelujah. It is time to start planting. So, this is Black Rifle Coffee, Broken Nomad. Uh, Silencer. We've been grinding so much coffee. I think the coffee grinder is about worn out. I kind of Now I have to disagree because I've had some of that Pete's Peets. We talked about this the other night. Um, yeah, I do enjoy the light roast now. It is pretty good. The light roast, from what I understand, has more caffeine. More caffeine. I believe that's right. So it is pretty good stuff. And especially with the cold weather, we're doing 2 pots a day, which is a lot more, and it makes you actually have to reflect on your preps because I'd always I've done the 3 adults for a year, 6 people for 6 months, kind of thing, blah blah blah, and the people that I were prepping with, they don't drink coffee because I don't know, because they're weird, and so I set aside X, so I'm going to have to reevaluate the amount of coffee and probably double it. Um, Now, in the long term, in the long term stuff over there, I probably got 40 pint jars of the instant coffee, which is heinous coffee. Uh, Heinous as in terrible, but it's good long term stuff. Uh, I just don't like sweet tea anymore. I just don't. I don't drink sweet tea. Remember when you got coffee at the grocery store and they had a grinder you could use the coffee all smelled? Yes, Doc, it sure did. It was the 8 o'clock coffee, and you could adjust the grind and adjust the shelf that the bag sat on. That was one of the things that I enjoyed going to the grocery store with my parents because I get to do it. We didn't have a lot to do back in Childersburg, Alabama, I guess, because that was the big thing. There you go, somebody else. Thank you, Redneck Prepper. I just don't. Sorry, there was a gnat. I just don't drink the sweet tea anymore. I remember like my mom, they would 2 cups of sugar to a gallon of water. I was like, oh, this stuff's gritty. It won't even, there's a science lesson in there. When you have a super saturated solution, that is the fact that there are so many molecules of one that the other will not absorb it. Yep, super sweet. Surviving in Alabama, he does a lot of sugar in his. He does brown sugar, which is kind of what Milo's does. If you've ever had Milo's uh, sweet tea, which is really good sweet tea, but it's crunchy, and that's one of the things I back when I quit doing any kind of sugar or sweets or anything like that, and I'm a little more lax now. I might have a piece of candy or something like that. I don't eat cake or pie or anything. It's just too much sugar, and it's not the sugar really. It's just it's the high fructose corn syrup. That's not sugar. If you can still find pure cane sugar, that's a little bit better. But I just choose not to. Don't do it. Hadn't had soft drink in years. We call them Cokes down here. Everything's a Coke. Dr. Pepper, Pepsi's a Coke, Sprite's a Coke. You want a Coke? Yeah. What kind of Coke you want? I want a Sprite. Okay. Honey? Yes. Yeah. Honey works. I love honey, and I use it. I use it a lot. Like if I'm doing uh, a ferment or something like that. Like I've got some garlic that I fermented in honey. It's going on a year now. It takes a long time to ferment with honey because it's just so thick. Pop, yeah, yeah, sodas. Um, but I do like honey, and we use the that for a really good salad dressing. The garlic infused honey is really good, and talk about a good something good when you're sick because it's just two really good powerful antibiotics and antioxidants. Yeah, well, yes, I was watching your live stream when you said you grew up in Michigan and then you moved down and everybody in Texas knew you were from out of state. That's kind of the way I am when I go up north. Uh, You know, you people will buy you lunch just to listen to you talk. Take advantage of it. Um, but getting ready to start digging up the dandelions in the yard. We don't spray the yard except around the fire ant beds, and that's Chris's job, the bug guy. And so getting ready to start harvesting all them because they're popping up all over the place. And we do dandelion heads, the florets in olive oil, and that's another ferment. Well, not really a ferment because it's in oil, um, and so that's really good. Um, Back to the honey, doing a good honey mead is really good if you like mead. That is, I used to enjoy it a lot. and that works out really good. It's a lot better uh, than using sugar, even the cane sugar. Um, and honey beats stevia or any of the NutraSweets or Sweet and Lows or whatever, the blue pack or the pink pack, whatever one you like. It to me, it just does better. I always prefer natural as opposed to a chemical anything if I can find it. Even though natural costs so much more now, it costs so much more now. It's kind of sad that people who have the most health problems can't really afford to eat healthy because just the way things have gotten, and you know the way the economy is, and the way everything else is going, it is not going to get any easier for any people, even the very the people who have more disposable income are feeling the bite. Yes, sugar in the raw is actually, yeah, yep, unrefined cane sugar. Those are good, and they're a lot better. Uh, did you use that magic pixie dust that I left you? No. Yes, yes. Shauna uses that. You're talking about mocha, the mocha stuff. No, I don't use it. No, just black coffee. Um, but she uses it now, and it's another addiction that we have to prep for. Um, so we're actually this evening we're sitting down and doing out our recipes. I think the pig still sells 8 o'clock coffee. I still drink the crap out of sweet tea. 2.5 gallon jug. You just don't make it real sweet. I can, yeah, yeah. Occasionally I do. Some places don't serve unsweetened tea, which is odd because you got to have unsweet tea to make sweet tea. But I don't pick, and I'll just get sweet tea and water and just mix it if that is the case, and it's tolerable. But I just don't do it anymore. Um, we're going to start doing our 30-day dinner menu, and in a little bit we're actually going to sit down and start writing everything out, and it'll be a good video once I get it all up. Lights in the greenhouse went out. Once I do all we get all the math done and everything, we'll go ahead and start planning because we only buy groceries once a month, and it's almost time. Well, it's past time, but we've just been so busy. So we'll go ahead and do all of our purchases maybe Sunday early before we go to church. Um, oh, and then we'll buy everything for the month, and then what we have left extra from our budget will jam into the prep. So hopefully that'll go pretty good. And we only eat about 15 different recipes. We just rotate through them. Seems like how long you need to let that sauerkraut sit before you can eat it. It's great now. Um, you can eat it now. You could have eaten it that day if you wanted to, and let me know if you want more. Well, you'll be down in March or something like that. But yeah, the sauerkraut's good. I need to make another batch. I think I only have 4 quarts left, and I keep giving it to people. So, and cabbage is really cheap right now, so it'll be good, and it's a quick ferment. I think I do my ferment for 3 weeks, and it's got a good bite to it. I like that. Some people may not. Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. That's my wife, Sarah Taylor, on there, the hooch. We did the hamburgers last night, and I heated them up on the pellet grill again tonight. And so we did that, and she did the Brussels sprouts, which It's pretty good. I got to say, the Brussels sprouts were pretty dang good. And the home fries. And like I said, the dandelion leaf instead of lettuce. So that's one of the kick in the butt. That's why I like doing the hydroponics as far as growing the greens, because if you start looking at the cost per ounce of lettuces, lettuces actually will cost more than most cuts of meat, because an ounce is just, you can break it down to the penny, if you're that kind of a person like me, and you'll find out that buying lettuces is expensive as opposed to doing it from you know growing it yourself. And hydroponics, where you do like a cracky hydroponic system, and you do a cut and come again, and just snip off the tops, and it grows, and you snip it off and it grows. Ideally, you'd have 4 sets. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and you can do your microgreens and all that stuff. It works out great. It works out great. I've got it all torn apart because we're doing the uh, the exotic house plants down here, so I don't have my stuff set up yet. But you can see, well, man, I tell you, these guys, all this is just hanging out. That's coleus. That's not a terribly. That's a flame coleus. That's not terribly rare, but um, it's time. It is, because we bought 2 packs of cabbage, shredded cabbage already, and it was one, two, three, $3 or $4 for that. And I was thinking, Dad gum, I need to start growing my greens again, because it's just so much more affordable, and I know where they come from. I grow them in the basement. Um, Marvin, if he's still on here, that's actually probably what I'm going to start doing as far as growing, like the oyster shell mushrooms and everything. I'll probably just carve out a little section down here, get some straw, put it in a tub and inoculate it, and grow them down here as well. Might as well. This is an ideal environment. It might actually be too dry because of the big dehumidifiers we have going, but it's all part of the plan. Uh, yeah. Get some and enjoy it. And like I said, when you come back down next month, um, I'll get you another bag of the stuff, since you have a limited space. The Broken Nomad, um, he does van life. So he has a travel van that he built, and it's what he lives and works out of. So without revealing too much more or locations, that is what he does, and he cruises east, west, north, south. I don't know if she's still on here, Broken Nomad, but I'll tell her you said hey, and give her a hug. And when he's around, or when he goes through, he comes by and hangs out and parks for a couple of days, and we sit and tell all kinds of lies and stuff. So, and it's good, and it was so nice, and I enjoyed it so much when he came down last time. Didn't even turn the camera on, because sometimes you just don't want to do videos, but if I'm going to do videos, I'll do them to a degree. And trying to think what else has been happening. Gosh, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the plants. Um, the artichokes, not the artichokes, the Jerusalem artichokes. They'll be here tomorrow. They'll be here tomorrow. And so I'm excited about that. 5-pound bag of them. So I got my spot already eyeballed out, and I'll till it up and plant them, and then won't ever touch them again. Yes, yes, sir. I dug up 5 wooden fence posts today that were concreted in, and then I filled in the holes, and then I busted all the concrete off of them, and then I carried the scrap concrete and filled it in low spots and covered it up with a little bit of dirt in some areas. So where we're going to be digging or putting vegetable beds, I removed all the concrete out. So it took a little bit of time. I can't find my busting bar. We always call them rock bars if you worked in the rock quarries. It's octagonal bar, the flat end and a pointed end, and it's 7 feet long. It weighs about 40 pounds. See, a chip bar, some people call them, and kind of find it. I don't know where it is, and so I ended up using a pickaxe, which was a good workout. So I busted the stuff up with a pickaxe, and I've got those other 5 4x4s ready, and I'm just working every day a little bit closer, a little bit closer. I finally got my paperwork from the lawsuit. Some of you might know about it. My neighbor was suing me. Um, we won the lawsuit. And Diesel Wheel Horse, I have not heard from you in a very long time. Back when I was doing small engine stuff. How are you doing? That Diesel Wheel Horse watched the channel back when I was doing a lot of small engine stuff. Back when I had uh, Murray Gator and kudzu and everything. Good. Glad to see you're still kicking around, man. I do small engine work some still, but it's mainly just related to the generators and the tillers and all that stuff. It's not as glorious as it was or as crazy as it was. But everything's still kicking pretty good. Although the way things are, I'm really thinking about building a shed and start doing small engine work. Down here in Alabama, the small engine mechanics charge. I've told you guys this before. Last year, they were charging $93 an hour for labor for a lawnmower. Let me say that again: $93 an hour for labor. That's plus parts for lawnmower work. Changed the name. It was Mudmower 83. Okay, cool. Um, so knowing what to do on small engines is it's a good side gig. It fed us for a few years back when I lost my job. So I might start doing it again. We can do the video next time we're there. Longer stay looking March. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. March is cool. And let me know what week it is, and I'll adjust my schedule so I'll just be off that week, and we can just do stuff and get in trouble. With all the zero turn, you almost have to charge that much. Yeah, yes, or depending on what kind of system it is, whether or not it's like an electric motor, electric geared, I guess, as opposed to like a transmission, because each one of those has a transmission. I think mine has a transmission on either side, and so that's how it engages, like tracks. But yeah, those things are expensive to work on. I started seeing them pushed up against houses nowadays, and I'm thinking, well, I've got a truck, I've got a trailer, might as well, start buying 2 of them and putting them together and selling one. And that's how I did it last time. But it's good money, and you get you get a good mechanical background because you're going to be doing a little bit of electrical, a little bit of mechanical, sometimes a little bit of hydraulics, depending on what kind of system you're working on. So jumping off from there, you can work on a generator around the property or homestead, water pumps, whether they be windmill driven, solar driven, whether it is just a gravity fed system. I mean, it offshoots into a lot of different stuff. And it's a really, having a background like that is really cool. I always thought so. Don't get me wrong, all the running and gunning that the preppers talk about is really good and everything. But, you know, knowing how to put in a garden and knowing how far away to put the outhouse from your well, kind of critical too. That's the good stuff. That's, you know, you may have a standing army of 30 men. You got somebody to babysit all the kids. You got a place to eat. You know, how's the infirmary look? Broken Nomad, I'll get him to do an audit of all my medical junk. And when he comes down, you guys will get a kick out of it because I'll probably cry. March is her birthday, planning that on down there the whole month between your place and hers. Yeah, that's cool. Come on down. Come on down. We'll feed you. But we're at 36 minutes now. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up and let you guys go on and do something fun on a Friday night. Are they really piles of crap? Son has, I'd heard that they were not making them out of heavy a gauge of steel, and I thought that was related to the decks. Comes up and gets your Cub Cadet tractor quite often. There you go. I understand. I love my son, but if he needs to borrow a mower, I've still got my old riding mower. I've still got my old pony. I would loan him that. It cuts. Don't cut good, but it cuts. Yes, sir. Well, all right, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. Deer's way overpriced for what you get anymore. I've heard that, and I've heard back to what Doc Falcon had said that, like, yeah, depending on if you buy it from one store like a Home Depot, they get a certain amount of certain grade quality, as opposed to if you bought it from a dealership, a John Deere dealership, those are the ones that have better quality. Or if you buy them at Sam's, you know, occasionally they'll sell those. So I don't know. I guess the expensive ones. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It might be that those are a better, a heavier gauge deck and what would it be called? A riding platform? Cockpit? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys alone. I'm going to go eat. I got to fill up my coffee cup again because we're out. Oh, and Broken Nomad, just so you get a kick out of that, I'm drinking out of the grandma cup. There you go. You guys take it easy. Have a good evening. I'll do another live stream tomorrow. And Bobcat Zero turns commercial and heavy as heck. Never driven one of them. Never have driven one of them. But I'm going to get. You guys take it easy. Have a good evening. And I will holler at you guys later. Take care of you people. See ya.